some of the fear out of you and social media, will hopefully tell you where to spend your time on social media in 2020. One of the things that we do poorly is that instead of going out and getting a real education on social media so that we can master it and make the money that we need, want, deserve, we kind of play follow the leader on social media. And what that does is that limits you to generating revenue on social media according to who you're following. And not everybody is making money on social media. Good morning, Heather. And so if you go to bit.ly/Black Friday Money, tonight I'm going to be doing a webinar on social media trends for 2020. Because the truth about social media, good morning, Dr. Cynthia, is that you can't make money on social media being all over the place. And if you haven't shared the broadcast, make sure you share the broadcast. The person that shares the broadcast the most will win a copy of my Digital Domination 365-day social media planner. And it will help you be more consistent on social media so you can make more cash. So share away, whether you're on Periscope, Facebook, and I'll announce the winner before we leave today. So hashtag shared once you share. But, you know, you've got to be honest with yourself about social media. Let me give you an example. The other day, I was looking for some research for one of my clients on building their new social media virtual assistant business. Thank you, Tiandra, for sharing. Thank you, for Heather, for sharing. And I made a post about what support do you need as an entrepreneur? And someone who provides entrepreneur support came and commented on the post, which, because I share and because I believe in reciprocity, I normally wouldn't have minded. But when I went to look at their page, they're not marketing what they do on their page at all. So the question to me was, why are you so afraid to market on your page, but will come over to my page and share your stuff? That's not right. If I got to get up and market, if I got to get up and go live, if I got to get up and post on Instagram, if I've got to get up and make videos for LinkedIn, if I've got to create campaigns, why don't you? Are y'all feeling me right now? So I asked that individual, why are you not marketing your stuff on your page? She said, well, one, I got a business page and I got a personal page. So the first thing I want to teach you is that if you're in business, you're always in business. There's no such thing as a business page and or a personal page. Facebook may have that distinction, but you as a business owner, you don't. You get it how you live. You get clients where you find them. Do you agree? If you agree, put yes or no. You don't have time to be talking about, well, when I'm over here on my personal page, I'm not really trying to get no clients, but you commented on a post that was on my personal page. When you start being a business owner, what you do as a person embodies your business. So whether it's your personal page or your business page, your messaging should be the same. Your target client should be the same. And you should ABM. You should always be marketing. There's no two ways around it. So thank you for those of you who commented in the chat that you agreed. And again, make sure you share a broadcast. So the first thing you've got to do is stop being afraid of social media, because scared money don't make no money. And that is the bottom line. If you're afraid you're going to make a mistake on social media, then you haven't been doing it long enough. The second thing you've got to do is, how many of you know how profitable an opportunity you have with social media? Go ahead and say me, because you see other people making money on social media. I make a gang of money on social media with no plans of stopping anytime soon. So how many of you know you can make international money on social media? Go ahead and comment me. How many of you know you can make money 24/7 on social media? How many of you know that you can get clients 7 days a week on social media? How many of you know that there are people out there making 7 figures and beyond, present company included, on social media? So if that's what I'm doing on social media, the question becomes, why are you not? And that's that fear factor. And you have to decide whether you want to be broke or paid. And it's your choice. And your actions. It is your actions that are going to make that determination. So go ahead and type in broke or paid, which one you want to be, because once you make that decision that I want to be paid, you can't be operating in fear. Once you make the decision that whatever it is you want to do, I want to be paid, then every action behind that has to stand for I want to be paid. So you've got to know where to be spending your time on social media in 2020 so you can do a takeover. A lot of people always ask me, so coach, do you think that I should spend my time on one platform or on a bunch of platforms? I think that you should start on one platform to master your message. But once you've mastered that message, then you should distribute that message to as many platforms as you can so that you can get as many clients as you can. And that's why I'm going to be talking to you about the trends for 2020. Some of y'all are still out there using memes, and that is so 1980s, 1990s. That's 2000. Like what's his name say? 21 Savage say, some people make millions, other people make memes. You've got to decide which of those buckets you're going to be in. So make sure you go to bit.ly/Black Friday Money. It is my last $29 webinar ever. And if you guys have ever attended my $29 webinars, you know they're worth $2,900. But I'm shifting my focus in 2020 to only support those individuals that want to scale to 7 figures and beyond. And so my masterclasses are going to truly be 7-figure masterclasses. What do you need to get from that first 100,000 to that first 7 figures? Because they're not the same. What you did that made you $100,000 will not make you 500,000, will not make you 600,000, and what you did to make 600,000 will not serve you to 7 figures and beyond. So you may want to get in on this webinar tonight for $29 because the price is going to $99 in January, which is right around the corner. bit.ly/Black Friday Money. But this webinar itself is worth way more than $29 because it's going to save you time, energy, and frustration. Some of you are marketing on the wrong platforms. Would you believe that? Some of you guys are playing follow the leader. And as a result of playing follow the leader, you are marketing on the wrong platforms. You're marketing on the platform you think is making money. But tonight, I'm going to tell you which of the platforms are really generating money for individuals and what you need to do to get on those platforms. And it's a real thing because your inability or unwillingness or lack of knowledge about where to be to greet your target client is costing you money every day. It's costing you time every day. It's costing your brand growth every single day. So you've got to learn not only what to do, but where to spend your time in order to be effective on social media. If you haven't shared the broadcast, make sure you share the broadcast. It's a real thing, guys. Social media has the power to free you from your job. Social media has the power to make you financially independent. Social media has the power to generate enough revenue for you to build a legacy, but are you investing in growing that power? Which brings me to the next thing. How good are you? Good morning, Dolores, at social media anyway. Recently, I did a social media assessment with quite a few of my followers, and many of them were saying, oh, I'm an 8 on social media. I'm a 9 on social media. Some of them even said they were a 10. But when I went to ask them about how much revenue they was really making on social media, that's when the crickets came, and that's when people started to realize that they're not as profitable on social media as they would like to be, number one. and as they could be number two. And it's not your fault, because sometimes we just don't know what we don't know. It's only your fault once you realize, hey, everybody's not struggling on social media like I am. So what can I do to make the difference in my business, in my brand, to grow my business, my clientele, my leads? And there are some things that you need to do consistently in order to make that happen. Listen, once I learned, can I teach you guys something today? Can I teach you guys the most important lesson that I've learned in business? And I'm going to come back and even talk about this later. Can I teach you guys the most important lesson that I learned in business, that I've learned in transitioning from a, Fortune 10 firm that made trillions of dollars a year to transitioning into my own business and being able to make well over 7 figures a year? Does anybody want to know what's the most important lesson I learned? I'm trying to see who wants to get this education this morning. Amen. Go ahead and say me if you want to know. The most important lesson that I've learned is that my earning potential is unlimited. My earning potential is unlimited. Now, there are some caveats to that. There are some things that you must do in order to harness that unlimited earning potential. But everyone under the sound of my voice has the capacity to earn unlimited revenue. I'm going to teach you this afternoon. I'll come back. I got a client session, and then I'll come back and talk about what it takes to really be able to tap into that unlimited revenue. But once you understand that your earning potential is unlimited, you never stop the quest for earning more. Did that help anybody? Once you realize that being fat, being bald, being black, being country does not preclude you from making a ton of money, all bets are off. And you're like, what do I need to do in order to be able to grab the bag and build my generational wealth? And you never stop answering those questions like, what do I need to do next? What do I need to do next? What do I need to do next? The Deuteronomy 8:18 says you have the power to create wealth. So what are some of the things you need to do to birth that power? And one of them is leveraging the tools that you have. Guys, social media is free. Social media is free.com. And that means no matter how much money you make or how much money you want to make, the act of using social media in and of itself is free. So you mean to tell me that you have a free tool that is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that you can go into and arguably earn as much cash as you're able to? You can market 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you won't do it. Why? Because you're scared. Because you don't know what you don't know. And that don't know what you don't know is costing you. And you got to ask yourself, how long am I going to pay the cost? How long am I going to allow what I don't know to be my hindrance? Here's another one. And I'm telling them, I did a post the other day for my clients about what they most needed to support them in business. And they came back with a whole lot of social media marketing, administrative needs. I had two different VAs come on that same post and say, well, I can help your clients. But when I went on their social media pages, on their personal page, I didn't see anything about them offering products and services. So my question is, why would you come over and market on my page and you won't market on your own page? I see people come in my live streams and put links to their products and services. I see people who go on other people's posts and put links to their products and services. I have people that DM me about products and services, and they won't market on their own pages, but they will spam my pages, my posts, your pages, your posts. And to me, that's ridiculous. Am I wrong for being out? I'm outraged. I'm outraged. I don't understand why you would think it's okay to go on one of my posts. You never comment on my stuff. You never talk about my stuff, but yet you go on my post and market your stuff because you're too afraid to market it on your own timeline. I don't know. I need y'all to comment on that. I'm going to come back and stream about that. You've got to learn how to market your own stuff. You can't just be riding other people's coattails. You can't just be following other people and saying, I'm just going to do what they do. At some point, you've got to learn social media, learn where to spend your time, learn where to spend your energy, learn what you need to know to master your social media. So that's one of the things we're going to be talking about tonight. Social media trends for 2020 and beyond. bit.ly/Black Friday Money. Don't get left behind. Don't be still doing old stuff on social media. That's like you still wearing corduroys. Y'all didn't hear that. That's like you still wearing platform shoes. That's like you still wearing bell bottoms. And you wondering why nobody's buying your stuff. And that's why. So let me run through these 5 real quick. Again, number 1, understanding that scared money don't make money. At some point, if you don't invest to know what you know, you're not going to know it and you're not going to generate revenue. Number 2, you got to choose between broke and paid. There are things that broke people do that paid people don't do, and standing back fearful, inboxing people, tagging on to other people's posts to be able to get a lift in your social media. All of those things are just wrong. And at some point, if you don't start doing what's right on social media, you're going to miss this very, very relevant opportunity to build your brand and build your revenue. So don't miss tonight's webinar, the last $29 webinar of the year, bit.ly/Black Friday Money. We're going to be talking about social media trends for 2020. And this is going to change the way that you operate your business model. Number 3, realizing that some of your fear is lack of knowledge. We are always afraid of the things we don't understand. If I saw a beluga whale which I think they say are 200 tons, I would be afraid. I would be super afraid. But then my education would tell me that they only eat plankton, that they're gentle creatures, they're not trying to eat you. And so then I wouldn't be afraid. Sometimes it's your lack of knowledge that causes you to be afraid. So getting that knowledge, increasing that knowledge is going to help you be able to manage that fear and really generate some revenue on social media. So bit.ly/Black Friday Money. Make sure you're in the house tonight so you know where to spend your time, energy, and effort on social media in 2020. It's my last $29 webinar of the year. You better catch it. Number 4, learning where to spend your time on social media. There are very few of us that have time to master 5 and 6 and 7 platforms. Some people do. I'm not one of them. So sometimes I have to choose between, hey, good morning, Timeless. I have to choose between which platform is going to make me the most money. And that answer is arguably different for everybody, which means you got to stop flocking to Instagram. Good morning, Goddess to Flow. Just because everybody else is flocking to Instagram. You got to stop doing A, B, and C just because everybody else is doing it. And you got to realize what is going to work to break open the stronghold of money for you. And not being afraid to be an industry leader, not being afraid to be a pioneer, not being afraid to make the money, not being afraid to put the right prices on your products and services, not being afraid to ask people for the sale, not being afraid to go beyond where you are now. And again, once you turn your knowledge on, you have a better understanding of how things work. You limit your frustration and you limit your fear. So tonight, bit.ly/Black Friday Money is a $29 webinar on trends you can expect for social media in 2020. These last few days of counting down, you need to be getting ready. I know that's what me and my team are doing, which begs the question of how good are you really at social media? And if you're saying I'm a 9 or I'm a 10, do you have 9 or 10 money? Is that a fair question? If you guys could answer yes or no, because people accuse me of being, oh, coach, you're just so brutally honest. Oh, coach, you're just so upfront. I'm brutally honest because sugar-coated lies not going to make you no money. People telling you dishonest things is not going to change your behavior, and it's not going to help you generate the revenue you need. How good are you really at social media, and how do you gauge that? And you don't gauge that by the number of followers, because I know a whole lot of people that have way more followers than me that make way less revenue. So at some point, you got to gauge it by things like community engagement. You've got to gauge it by things like community conversion. You've got to gauge it by things like how much money are you generating? I mean, those are real things that how you really measure the success of a business. And not only that, Jessica, you know, a lot of people have taken Instagram at face value and spending a lot of time on Instagram thinking that they're doing something wrong, when if you're using Instagram like everybody else, you may very well be. So not only are we going to be talking about trends by platform, we're going to be talking about trends by functionality, because there's a lot of functionality on different platforms that we're not using. And because we're not using that functionality, we're not getting as much out of our time on those social media platforms as we could, would, should. Good morning, Future Billionaire. So tonight's webinar, bit.ly/Black Friday Money, is my last $29 webinar of the year. And we're going to be talking about social media trends for 2020. So you can make an informed decision about where to spend your time and don't get left on platforms that are not generating the level of revenue that you could if you spent your time somewhere else. For those of you who don't know, of course, I'm plotting my retirement now. One of the things that I am going to take with me into retirement is called the 7-Figure Sisterhood. And I made a commitment to help as many women scale their business to 7 figures as possible, 7 figures and beyond. And that's the kind of masterclasses I'm going to be offering in the new year. So I'm going to stop the conversations on how to get started and really start those conversations on how to scale your business beyond that first $100,000, because it does make a difference. I say that to say you have to understand that what you did to make you 100,000 won't make you 7 figures. And if you're not willing to do something differently, that 7 figures is going to continue to elude you, even though you have unlimited revenue earning potential. And I'm at the point, Boss Business Babes, where I've given you enough to get started that if you got started and you kept up, at this point, you should be ready to scale. And understanding how important it is to scale. Forbes said that while most business owners are women, over 50% of the new business owners are women, the mass majority of them fail to scale beyond $50,000 a year, and even more of them fail to scale to 7 figures. Only 4% of women-owned businesses, out of all the $1 million businesses, women make up only 4% of those $1 million businesses. And so at some point, you've got to decide, do I want to scale to $1 million, or do I want to play small and keep working a job? Do I want to play small and keep dragging my feet and getting started? And so while I will have coaches that can help you get started, it won't be me. Because I'm at the point that all I can have is 2 comma conversations. That's how my brain is wired now. If I sit down to have a one-on-one with anybody, the end result is going to be, how do we get you from where you are to 7 figures? And that's not fair to brand new people, because it's going to be so far over their head. So in order for me to stay niche specific, I've got to just start talking to the women that are earning 100, 150,000, 200,000, and really need to know how to get to that 7-figure point in the next, 8, 12, 16 months without taking 3 or 4 or 5 years to learn that. And so tonight's webinar is a bonus, because you get some insight as to even where I'm going to be spending my time and energy next year as we scale well beyond 7 figures. So go to bit.ly/Black Friday Money and register for the webinar, and don't get left behind. Don't get left behind on antiquated platforms. Don't get left behind doing things that are a habit for you, instead of really launching out into the deep and doing more. And you've got to ask yourself, what have I limited, or what has it cost me this year to be comfortable? Comfort comes at a cost. Somebody needs to say, wow, the more time you spend uncomfortable, the more earning potential you have. If you get to a certain amount of earnings and you're earning just enough to pay the bills, You're earning just enough to tread water. You're earning just enough to pay your little old staff. You're not doing it big enough. And that comfort is costing you. That's another thing, Jessica. My new audience is going to understand that your investments in coaching are tax deductible. I shouldn't have to educate anyone on the fact that the $29 you spend tonight gets written off on your taxes. That's business basics. That's business basics. And I'm past that point where I have to explain what people need and what they don't need. The new women that come to me will know beyond a shadow of a doubt that they need to scale their business up. They're going to know that I'm the person to help them scale. Come on now. Exactly, boss business babes. Only boss moves. Nobody should have to try to convince you about a $29 webinar that's going to help you manage your time on social media. Social media is arguably your biggest, by far. Thank you, Marquita, for sharing the broadcast. And if you haven't shared the broadcast, share the broadcast. Your biggest conduit to 7 figures. And if you don't see that, you definitely need to have a seat tonight. bit.ly/Black Friday Money. We're going to be talking about 2020 social media trends, including what I'm going to be doing. Exactly. And wondering why. And I'm going to come back later because I truly am outraged by how people don't use this free platform to market their business and make money. It's free. What keeps you from going live 2-3 times a day? What keeps you from posting 7-8 times a day? What keeps you from, I just ordered a book about that, Boss Business Babe. What keeps you from posting in your stories 15, 20 times a day? That's what you're gonna see me do next year. So with everybody else on here, that's right, Boss Business Days, Boss Business Babe, turning up and getting their money. Where are you? And why are you not? And can I be brutally honest and transparent? And this ain't towards nobody. I don't want nobody to feel some kind of way when I say this. But can I be brutally honest and transparent for just a moment? Exactly. Watching and not working, watching everybody else, watching everybody's live streams, but not going live, liking everybody's stories, but not posting anything in stories yourself. One of the reasons that I'm retiring next year is because I have spent the last 8 years begging you guys to get paid. I've spent the last 8 years begging you. Let me show you how to get this bread. Let me show you how to get this cheese. Come on and let's make a grilled cheese sandwich. It's easier than you think. Let me show you how to make the money to leave your job. Let me show you how to make the money to build generational wealth. And the women who have listened have gone on, and you've seen them over the years. They've gone on to build empires. They've gone on to quit their job. They've gone on to make more money. You've seen them. I'm not just telling you some behind the scenes story. But you do get tired of begging people to accept their greatness. And I know that as I work to build these 7-figure sisters, they already know the money is there. They just need the strategy, right? To get from that 100,000 or that $250,000 mark on. I want to work with people who are ready to go. I want to work with people who understand their earning potential. I want to work with people who know that the money is out there. I want to work with people who know I got a bomb ass strategy and who just say, let me in, coach, I want to play. I'm going to show up, I'm going to do the work, and I'm going to go get this bread. And that's who I'm about in this season. Because anything else is too hard, and I'm too old and too tired. I shouldn't have to beg you to become a millionaire. You'll say it, and you'll get on all them prayer broadcasts that tell you, 2020 is going to be different for you, but you won't hire me for a strategy session. When somebody posts you about to manifest your millions, or you like that, but you won't come to a class on social media so you can learn how to tap into that power to create wealth. So it's not just about claiming it. At some point, you got to have the strategy and you got to do the work. And you got to understand it's your birthright. And I don't want to have to convince people as to that anymore. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to leave people behind either. So I'm raising up a group of coaches who are like I was when I started. When I started, I had the energy to beg people to come on. I had the energy to motivate people to get up and get out. I'm at the point now where I'm losing that energy, which is why I'm going to go and work with the people who I don't have to beg to come get these racks. I want to work with the women that say, look, if we want to go to the Bentley dealership together and grab a Bentley, let's go. Let me show you how to make that $500,000 this month or in the next 2 months. So that when it's time to roll up in the dealership, you got your racks and you ain't got to look them in their face and ask them for no credit. That's the level of women I want to work with. And what I realized is that I don't have to compromise. I've come so far. I can't work with both. I can't work with the people who are starting out and don't understand their earning potential while at the same time working with the women who have earned the money and is ready to just go eat it up. Somebody said they Bentley ready. Are you? And I want to work with the women who are no excuses. Don't let your past rob you of your future. Don't let what somebody told you 6 years ago, 16 years ago, 26 years ago, 36 years ago, 46 years ago. Don't let that rob your bank account. Don't let you feeling sorry for everybody else keep your money low. Don't let your willingness to help starve you. Those are the women I want to work with. And it's not cutthroat. It's not. It's understanding your worth. People go out and pay everybody else big money. So why shouldn't they pay you? And realizing that, good afternoon, Berlin, that people pay for what's important to them. When it's important to them, baby, they find the money, they find a way. So if your social media in 2020 is important to you, tonight, my last $29 webinar ever, bit.ly/Black Friday Money. We're going to be talking about social media trends for 2020. So you know where to spend your time, where to spend your effort, how to leverage your marketing in the new year. So you can be on the cutting edge of trends instead of playing follow the leader. Hey, Nina, good morning. Because at some point, I asked my mentorship this the other night. I said, do you guys know who makes the most money, leaders or followers? And beyond a shadow of a doubt, leaders make way more money than followers. So you've got to decide to lead. And you've got to be okay with it. And sometimes that means you have to leave some people behind. Sometimes that means you need to disassociate with some people. It's not personal. It's just business. There's this picture of Jay-Z that said people are telling him he's changed. And the truth of the matter is, do you put this much time, energy, effort, and sweat equity into anything to stay the same? You have to change. In order for you to generate 6 figures, there's a shift. In order for you to generate 7 figures, there's a shift. Your mind has to shift. Who you hang out with has to shift. What you do with your time has to shift. Your discipline has to shift. The people you work with has to shift. If those things don't shift, then unfortunately your earnings stay stuck. People think it's about pretty websites and photo shoots, and that's part of it. But the most important piece is that mental shift and understanding, where am I going to spend my time and energy for me to be profitable, and not taking no for an answer. This didn't work, let me go do this. This didn't work, let me go do this. This didn't work on this platform, let me try it on this platform. And being relentless, tenacious, and just persevere with your profits. So be on the lookout for my 7-figure masterclass series that starts this week. It actually starts on Thursday. And these are going to be, like I said, it's going to be over some people's head. It's going to be beyond some people's budget. But it is what I want to teach, because it's going to be in line with my mission. And my mission is to help as many women scale to 7 figures as possible. Hey, good morning, Keisha Nicole. And it's a climb. It's a climb. Scaling your business to 7 figures, it's a climb, but that view from the top is wonderful. And I want everybody to be able to see that view, what it looks like to have your business generating 7 figures and beyond. So yeah, it's a hell of a climb. But that view from the top is priceless. So tonight's my last $29 webinar. Make sure you get in where you fit in, bit.ly/Black Friday Money. I'll be back this afternoon. Oh, it's a hell of a view. Did a lot just to live this here lifestyle. It's a hell of a view. Yeah. And you've got to be, you gotta be outfitted for the climb. I used to think the climb was for everyone. I still do think everybody is capable of generating 7 figures. If you believe you're capable of generating 7 figures, go ahead and say me in the chat. I think everybody is capable of generating 7 figures. I don't think everybody has the belief factor. I don't think everybody has the perseverance, the mindset. I don't think everybody has the grit or the fortitude. I don't think everybody wants it so bad that they're willing to do anything and everything within the bounds of morality and legality to have it. Because what it all boils down to is how bad do you want it and how much are you willing to go get it. And that's it. And you know what, Keisha Nicole, I used to say you got to put in the work. I've put in $1 million worth of work at jobs. Can we just be honest? I've had jobs where I've arguably made them millions of dollars, put in $1 million worth of overtime. I haven't worked any harder to build this 7-figure business as I've worked at a job. Let's just be honest. I've worked harder at jobs that didn't yield me as much. So now that it's mine, I've got to work even harder if that's possible. So I don't doubt that people can put in the work. I doubt that people are willing to invest what it takes financially, mentally, physically. I don't think people think it's easy to build a business. If they've been in business any amount of time, they know that it does take work. It just becomes, do you have the discipline to do that level of work for yourself? Because if your boss told you to do it, you would do it. See, most people are so indoctrinated in being an employee that if they boss told them to do it, they would do it. Yeah, Nina, everybody needs a why. You know, I think that almost goes without saying. Everybody has to have a why that's bigger than their fear. Because if your why is not bigger than your fear, it's easy to fall back on I'm scared. It's easy to fall back on I can't afford. It's easy to fall back on I'm scared when the Bible says he didn't give you the spirit of fear. It's easy to fall back on I can't afford when you got DoorDash and Uber Eats and all. You can work from home, customer service. There's so many convenient jobs nowadays. So your why definitely has to be bigger than your fear. And no, being an entrepreneur is not a walk in the park, but going to work for somebody else every day is definitely not either. So guys, I hope to see you tonight, bit.ly/Black Friday Money, my last $29 webinar of the year, Social Media Trends 2020, to teach you what's going to be popping in the next year, what's going to be lit in the next year, and where you need to be spending your time in the next year so you can make your time